Good evening, and welcome to Melbourne After Dark. I am your host, Mech. Thank you very much. This is Hugo 3, Jungle of Doom, or as it was later known as, Hugo's Amazon Adventure. Hugo and Penelope are returning home for their vacation at the cottage of Great Uncle Horace. Suddenly, a freak magnetic storm causes the compass in their light aircraft to spin wildly. Unable to navigate, Hugo loses all sense of direction. Look at him go all over the place. Finally, hopelessly lost over a South American jungle with the plane about to run out of gas, Hugo spots a clearing just big enough to land it. With fingers clenching the controls, he shouts, "Hold on, Penelope, we're going down." "Well, we made it," says Penelope with relief, as she and Hugo survey the crash site. Yes, immediately at this game, you can tell that, as it is the third in the series, it has much better graphics compared to the previous two. I believe this is because David Gray actually hired a graphical artist to do the background design for the game. You can see that the trees look a lot better, though it does still retain some of that MS Paint charm, but it's not nearly as evident that the characters kind of stand out a bit. Anyway, I think I'll go off and explore a little, she continues. "Well, don't wander too far," warns Hugo. "I'll inspect the aeroplane while you're gone." "Okay, honey," calls Penelope as she heads into the jungle. "And for goodness sake, change your clothes. They clash terribly with the scenery," she laughs. Not to mention her own dress. I suppose her dress blends in. It's green. She's wearing those green shoes again. Nothing much exciting happening here. Lots of trees and things. Some pretty flowers. Cute spider's web. I'll just go stand in front of it. Wonder how Hugo's doing fixing the plane. What's this? Oh no! Chomp. Irk! Help! Help! Plonk. Hugo hears the faint cries for help and rushes to the rescue. A young native girl, who happened to be passing by, rushes onto the scene. "I saw the whole thing. Your friend had been bitten by a dreaded tree spider. I'm afraid there's only one antidote, and it must be administered within 48 hours. "Do you have the antidote?" Hugo asks. "No, the only thing that can save your friend is water from a place we call the Pool of Life. It lies in a secret garden behind the waterfall along yonder path. I will tend to your friend while you fetch the special water. Now go, hurry." And so we have our quest. The native girl points to the path behind her. "Well, looks like it's up to you, old buddy. Better get going and find that antidote." And the game begins. Now, before I start talking, I'm going to save, just because I'm a paranoid person who thinks that everything's going to be killing him in this game. Now, what should I say? This is the third in the trilogy of the Hugo series. I mentioned that the graphics certainly look a lot better, though it is actually probably the shortest in the series. I believe that is because of the cost of hiring the artist for the background designs. But this is the shortest game, but I do think in it the puzzles are the most unforgiving. There are quite a few areas where you can actually mess up to the point where you can't proceed. I don't really remember whether there's that many things in this one which can kill you. It's more you just end up in a situation which you can't proceed from. Anyway, let's have a look around. Look. You can see a path to the left heading off into the jungle. To the right lies the clearing where you crash landed. There is no sign of the spider. Look. Spider web. It is an extremely voracious looking spider. You said there's no sign of the spider, and yet it is extremely voracious looking. I was looking at the spider web. Look, web. That web is one of the largest you have ever seen, but then, so is the spider. Get spider. It is of no use to you. Get web. There's no point. Look, Penelope. Why, it's Penelope. Yes, it is. She's currently passed out on the ground. Well, we've better be rescuing her. Look, girl. You see nothing out of the ordinary about her. Okay. Well, there's nothing else we can do. Oh, I think we can talk to girl. Talk girl. The native girl has told you all she can. Now where is the antidote you are supposed to be fetching? Talk Penelope. Poor Penelope is not in a very talkative mood at the moment. This game always had a bigger sense of exploration than the previous two when I was young and playing it. Mostly because of the jungle environment in the background, it always gave the sense of the game being much, much bigger than it actually is. There is a number of other improvements to the games. You can see here there's actually some perspective going, with Hugo turning into a smaller sprite. I also remember when I was playing this years ago, that I actually encountered a number of odd elements with this game, which from the videos of other people I've watched playing this, I haven't actually seen mention of. I remember one of them being that, well, when I first played this game, it was on DOS, and I assume it was something to do with the DOS system having to load the memory, but I remember sometimes when, pardon me, while the game was loading, I was able to press a whole bunch of keys all over the keyboard, and when Hugo spawned out of the plane, he was actually wearing complete black, apart from his face. It was as if he was wearing like a ninja outfit. But it didn't do anything else, just a physical change look. I assume it was because the game didn't actually manage to load the look for his body or something, because I was busy pressing all the keys all over the keyboard. That was the only way I knew how to get that to work. I think I possibly got it to do that maybe twice. Anyway, look, airplane. It doesn't look too badly damaged. Right, well, I said before, this game has probably the hardest puzzles in it, and then some of them it's because it's rather unclear what you're supposed to be doing. Look inside airplane. Okay. Whoa, here we go. Yes, these are all very vital items which you require. Look. The contents of the plane became a bit jumbled during the forced landing, however you can make out the cockpit seats and instruments, which still appear to be okay. You can also see some clay. You can also see some pins. You can also see a water flask. You can also see billion cubes. You can also see a sandwich. Well, this is all important stuff, so we'll get it all. Get all. No, we can't do get all. Get cubes. Okay, bullion cubes are like, oh, what's the other word for them? Stock cubes. Like beef flavoring for soup and stuff. Get, clay. Okay. Get sandwich. Okay. Get pins. Okay, and get flask. Okay, you can't get ye flask. Okay. Exit. Sure. No. I meant, how do I do this? Look away. Okay, no. Leave. Eh? Go away. Try walking there. Oh, jeez. Exit plane. Okay. Thank you very much. Right. Now we've got everything out of the plane. Sorry, that took a little bit. That is kind of what I mean. You have to sometimes guess what the game actually expects you to say. But, whatever. It's not too bad in my mind. Anyway, let's go explore this jungle. Look. You are on a jungle path, which gently slopes up to the left. I remember this game also had one of the hardest puzzles for me when I was a young kid, because it required very fast typing. That's towards the end of the game though, so we won't get to that bit right now. Let's have a look. Look, looking down into the chasm, you can see a fast running stream far below. There appears to be a path crossing the stream, but there is no way to get down the sides of the chasm from here. The bridge looks a bit dubious. Well, what do we do when we see a bridge? Walk across. Come on. Wait, what? Watch out, that bridge doesn't look like it would support your weight. The ropes are starting to fray at the ends. Okay. Right, well, what we have to do is tie vines to bridge. Okay, the bridge looks like it will support you now. Don't know why that message didn't appear. Crumph! As you leave the chasm, you hear the sound of the bridge collapsing behind you. Oh dear, looks like you'll have to find another way back to Penelope. If we go back, the bridge has indeed collapsed. Look. Alas, the bridge has collapsed, and there is no way across the chasm. Look. Bridge. There is no point. Okay. Well, here we are at an odd place, and there appears to be some kind of pipe on the ground. Look. You're at the top of the cliff. There are two paths heading down, and a path heading up towards the bridge. You can also see an old scroll. Get scroll. Okay, some parts of this game does indeed feel like you can tell that the game is a lot shorter than the previous ones, because many of the items which you require are kind of just lying around, like this right here, and the scroll before. These are all items which kind of culminate towards a grand moment, but finding them just lying around. Look. Yeah. You can also see a golden bell. Well, get bell. Okay. I do wonder what the full ideas for this game were. But still. The scenery in this is still very nice. Look, you can see a fast-running stream fed by a waterfall to the right. The water is too fierce to cross anywhere. On the other side of the waterfall, you can see a little path heading into the undergrowth. This waterfall is part of the hardest puzzle in the series, in my mind. Now, what's this? Look. You are at the mouth of a cave. The cave is very gloomy inside. However, you can make out some steep stone steps heading upwards. An evil spirit appears to be guarding the entrance. Look. Ghost. The ghost does not appear to be very friendly and will not let you pass. Talk, ghost. You get no reply. Oh. And there's no music either. In the King's Quest series, at least, if this game was made by Sierra, we would be getting some PC speaker rendition of Thriller or something like that. Anyway, now, I have mentioned already a few times that this game has got some rather hard puzzles. This is also one of them here. It's because some of the puzzles are very... you wouldn't guess what you have to do, right? It's kind of like you have reached a path which turns back on itself. It's kind of like, if you remember in Hugo 1, in my playthrough of that, there is the basement, and you have to find the tunnel behind the rocks to be able to get to the next screen. It's kind of like that, but it's actually an item which you need. We have to go behind this rock here. Look. You have reached a path which turns back on itself. Look. Boulder. The rock itself looks like any other mighty boulder you might find in these parts. Look. Behind boulder. My, we are thorough, aren't we? Well, just for you. There is a crystal ball lying behind a rock, glinting in the sun. You fetch it out. Get ball. Okay. Yep. That's just lying there behind the rock. We do actually get a hint that it is there, kind of, but you have to complete the game to know that it's there. So, I think it's just like hidden points. You don't need it to complete the game. At least I don't think you do. But, anyway. Mech 4. What's this? It's a village. You are at the outskirts of a native village. There is an interesting thing in this game. If you know geology and that, there is quite a lot of anachronisms, would you say, with this. Like, this is clearly an African village. I mean, this is based off an African village, which you'd see in, like, National Geographic or something like that, but we're in the Amazon jungle in South America, where you'd have more like, you know, Aztecs or something like that, Tenochtitlan, and the, what are they called, pyramids, and there's an elephant here, yes, look, you're on a jungle path, there is an elephant here who appears to be resting, it appears quite content and takes no notice of you. Author's note, yes, I know there are no elephants in the Amazon, this one just escaped from a zoo. Okay, I can't remember whether that was in the original game or I'm playing a version which had a later update because of that. Oh well, it's unimportant. But yes, there's an elephant there. That elephant is, again, part of the hardest puzzle in the game. Whoop, hang on. Pardon me. And here we are at the native village. Look, You are in the natives' village. The witch doctor's hut lies to the right. You can see a wild beast being roasted over a fire, and at the rear of the village some natives with a blowpipe. Look, fire. Whatever is cooking, it doesn't look very appetizing. Perhaps a little seasoning would help. Talk, native. Walla jumba. Well, that's pretty standard. Look. House. You are looking at what appears to be a hut made of wood from the jungle. The hut has proved incredibly useful to the natives over the years as a means of shelter. It is good to find someone interested in these kind of things that most other people would find ordinarily boring. Oh, come on. You just have to look at everything in these games, otherwise you might miss something important. Look. Ash? Yeah, okay. Look. Blow pipe. I don't see any here. Fine, whatever. Hello. Talk. Native. Oh, I see you don't speak our tongue. I should have guessed from your strange clothes, I suppose. Okay, anything else? Nope? Oh well. What we have to do here is use cubes on meat. Pardon me. Use cubes on meat. That would be a little impolite to say the least. Oh. Fine. Anyhow, welcome to our little community here. No, don't be frightened. We're not headhunters or cannibals, you know. Conversation will continue. No, although I must warn you most strongly not to venture into the witch doctor's hut. It's a full moon tonight, and he tends to go rather crazy. Yes, this one here is following us around. Well, as you can see, we're cooking supper here. It's roast hyena, again. Again, another anachronism. Hyenas aren't located in South America. At least no, they're not. We had the same thing yesterday and the day before, and I don't think you'd want to eat hyena either, because they're carnivores. And anyway, you can see the witch doctor wandering around in the hut over there. There he is. In fact, I can't remember when we didn't have roast hyena. It gets really boring, you know. If only there was something we could do to make it more interesting. Well, that's our cue. Give cubes. You're not the first stranger we've had in our village, you know. No, not at all. Give cube. Well, that's fine enough. The native thanks you politely for your gift, but looks a little nonplussed. However, after you demonstrate its use on the meat, the natives are very grateful. Yes, your hyena can taste like beef or chicken or something. The native hands you a blowpipe and some sleeping potion darts, and warns, careful, with these there's enough potion to put an elephant to sleep. Hid. This is very heavy hinting for the game. But let's go back here. Look. Okay, fine. Well, I actually know there's something else over here. Look behind hut. You can see a notice pinned to the side of the hut. A native kindly translates. The witch doctor curses all known jungle ills. Spider bites a speciality. Reasonable rates. Also a master of voodoo. Don't delay. Visit today. This is quite a jumble of a lot of things. Voodoo is part of the... Pardon me. South America... No, not South America. The, you know, around, like... Orleans and, you know, Louisiana area, so of North America, so that's not part of, you know, South America or Africa. Whatever, it's just a big messed up jungle. These shields look like Zulu shields, so anyway, save, make 4, and we'll go inside. Against all the warnings. Hee gotcha! Dun 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 dun. Oh no, not in the flat cage. Oh well, good thing I'm 2D. From this hour, you're in my power. That might be a quote from something, but I'm not that knowledgeable of movies to really get it. Oh well, we're in a cage. Look, you're in a witch doctor's hut. You can see him over by his cooking pot. It looks pretty grim for you. You can also see a little cage. That's this red thing here. You can also see a golden candle. This over here. You can also see about 4 different snakes. Apparently a stuffed version of the spider from the jungle. And about 3 skulls and 2 femurs. And a bunch of potions on a shelf underneath the window. And there's appears what to be a mouse in this hole over here. Squeak, squeak. Well, we have to get this mouse somehow. Well, what we have to do is look. Cage. You see nothing. Fine. Look. Small cage. Okay, fine. Well, through the wonders of having completed this game before, I know what to do. So what we have to do is put sandwich in cage. Okay, You can see the sandwich appears in the cave. It's actually a cheese sandwich. I didn't look at it. And we'll move over here. And if we wait, the mouse runs excitedly over to the little cage and starts eating the remains of the cheese sandwich. The cage slams shut, trapping the mouse inside it. Now we have a mouse in the cage. But that's not going to get us out of this cage. Out of this bigger cage. So the mouse is just trapped like we are. No, what we have to do is... I believe this puzzle has quite a bit of notoriety for the series. Mostly because of wording. I will actually save it. Because I want to try a few different responses for it. But what we have to do is look clay. It's the kind used to mold shapes with. Now, if we remember, they said that this witch doctor is a practitioner of voodoo. Right. Now, well, what do you do? What do people mostly know about voodoo? Well, we have to mold clay into voodoo doll. Wait. Mold clay into doll. I don't really understand. Right. Well, I do know the proper wording, or the wording which is expected, but I was pretty sure that there was another way to phrase it. Make effigy... effigy... Oh, my spelling is terrible. Effigy from clay. As if guided by some unseen force, your hands quickly mold the clay into an effigy. It's got an I in it. Of the witch doctor. Thankfully, it only looks at the first 2 or 3 letters of the word. Anyway, I spelt it. It's double F-I, not double P-H-I, P-H-E or whatever. Anyway. Oh, well, it's close enough. Of the witch doctor. Yes. People consider this puzzle to be very difficult because of the phrasing. You have to use the word effigy. I'm pretty sure you can say, like, create voodoo doll or something like that, and it accepts it. I will actually restore and try it. I know I tried that before, but... Okay. Mold voodoo doll. Okay, make doll from clay. Yep, you can just say make doll from clay. Anyway, it comes to the same thing. So, effigy is a difficult word to know to use, but you can type in doll. I was able to do that. I am pretty sure that I was able to do that with the version back in 1994 or whatever it was. Anyway, so we have a voodoo doll made in the look of the shaman over there. And luckily we don't need any hair for him, so we just stick pin in doll. You feel as if something dark and sinister just happened. Oh god, he runs over and now he's on the floor. Twitching. Look. Shaman. You go in the witch doctor's hut. You can see him writhing on the floor, where you managed to incapacitate him. I always found it funny that his staff's skull is apparently yabbering its head off while he's lying there twitching on the floor. Anyway, so we get keys from witch doctor. Don't push your luck. Okay, open door? Oh, you can just open the door. There's no keys. Look, doctor. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, he's just lying there twitching, so we can't get him. So we get this cage. Get cage. Okay, now we have a mouse in a cage in our pocket. And we get this candle. Get candle. Okay. Look in pot. The cooking pot contains a most evil-smelling concoction. I wouldn't like to guess what's in there. Look, skull. There are some of the things used by the witch doctor for his nefarious deeds. Their use is really not readily apparent. Get skull. I wouldn't touch that if I were you. Get snake. That would be foolish. That would be a foolish act. The foolish act of a novice adventurer. Look, snake. One snake looks much like any other. It is kind of long and thin and has 2 ends. Well, it's got 1 end. The other one's its head. Look. Bone? Yeah, fine. Look, bottles. Looking on the shelf by the window, you can see an odd assortment of bottles. On further inspection, the bottles all seem to be empty. I guess this doctor was just a quack. Get bottles. Yep, fine, you can't get them. Look, shield. Yeah, okay, there's nothing else interesting here, so we'll just leave the witch doctor lying on the floor. And we got a cage with a mouse in it, and we got the candle from that. So, now what do we do? Oh, remember we also got the, blow darts and the blowpipe from the villagers, so... Look... at village. Okay. I always remember what that thing hanging over here is. I kind of assume it's like some animal hanging up or something to dry. I can't remember whether you're able to look. Village. No? Oh well. Anyway. You also you'll also notice, pardon me. You'll also notice that there is a whole bunch of huts which we didn't actually get to. We can only go to the fire here and the witch doctor's hut, and that's it. Oh, anyway, we've done everything there. Now, this part of the game. Is there anything else I have to do before this? I will save, and I will move on for a bit, and I'll come back to this. Yes, there are a few things we have to do before this. Okay, here's a nice scene. It's got the river, and it's got some vines hanging over the river. Well, let's have a look here. Look! You have reached the banks of a fast-running stream. If there used to be a bridge here, it has long since disappeared. Looking into the water, you notice many small red fish, which you recognize instantly as flesh-eating piranhas. Look. Bush. Okay, look behind shrub. You have... Look. Ground. There is something here. Nope, yep, I got that. I will read... No. Okay. It's one of those you just have to move close to be able to get it. Sorry, I pressed enter. I'll just move back there, and we'll be able to see what that is. Okay. Here's the scene, and we move back here. Somewhere. There we go. Searching behind the plants near the water, you find an old worn book. You fetch it out. Get book. Okay. Look. Book. The book is old and very worn. The pages, although yellow with age, still have discernible writing on them. You feel the book has hidden powers. Let's have a look at our inventory at the moment. We've got some clay, a water flask, blowpipe and darts, a crystal ball, a spell book, some pins, a little cage, an old scroll, a golden bell, a golden candle. Yes, there seems to be a lot of magic stuff in this game. Look. Pins. They look very sharp. Look. Clay. Well, I did that. It's the type you mold stuff with. I do remember with playing this once years ago, I remember the clay actually going off, and I was not able to mold it into the voodoo doll because it just said, well, I can't use that, the clay's all hard, or it's gone off. I am not sure what caused that. I do remember that it went off though. I don't know whether there is a timer in this game. It seems very unlikely to me, but well, there it is. I don't know if the same thing happened to the sandwich or not. I don't think so. I think the sandwich, it might be considered off because Hugo won't eat it, but the mouse will. But I remember the clay saying that it was off. That might actually be in a bug which I caused somehow, where it transferred the off status from the sandwich to the clay somehow, but whatever. Anyway, swing on vines. This is the only way we can get across the river. We get a nice little tune every time we do that. And we're back on a path over here. Now, where does this go? Going down. And at least back here. Yep. I've seen pretty much the entire game world of this one. It's really not that big. It's just a big loop around this area. So, swing on vines. Okay. Okay. Well, we've got everything we need. And now, I hope I can do this on the first try. Save. Make 4. Okay, right. Now, what we've got to do is drop cage. Okay. We drop the cage with the mouse in it. Open cage. And the elephant goes off. The little mouse has scared the elephant. You watch in amazement as the elephant lumbers off in the direction of the stream. Right, now we have to type quickly. Shoot elephant with blow dart. The elephant wades right through the stream. You notice with some amusement how the stream became totally dammed while the elephant passes through it. The stream starts to flow normally again as the elephant disappears into... Oh, damn it, I was too late. Yeah, fine, whatever. Restore... Yes, it's a slight timed event. You have to get it just right when the elephant's actually over the stream, but it's kind of difficult to tell exactly when he is. Drop cage. Okay. Open cage. Shoot elephant with dart. Okay. And did that work? The effect of the sleeping potion in the dart is starting to have its effect on the elephant. It slows down and eventually stops right in the middle of the stream, damming the water completely. That was a very difficult part for me as a child, and I had to get my dad to do it every time because I couldn't type fast enough. There's the elephant sitting in the stream. Sorry, I'm talking very fast. This part is actually timed. You have to do something very quickly. So, the enthusiasm is rubbing off on me. Oh, the elephant is damming the river, and wouldn't you know it, that river, with all the water just gone, it's being sucked up into the elephant's backside, I suppose. We actually have to go all the way around here, and we'll notice that the river here is gone. So, we can actually cross here now. And we're on the other side of the river here. Now we go over here, and we're in a lovely clearing. Look! You have arrived at the Secret Garden. A pool of rejuvenating water is here, among some very beautiful wild orchids, which have grown huge thanks to the magic powers of the water. Fill flask with water. You fill the flask with the magical water. Drink water. That really hit the spot. Now what about poor Penelope? Fill flask with water. Okay. That's all we need. You don't have to drink it yourself. It's just, you can just remember to fill up the flask again afterwards. Just in time, you can hear the thunder of water as the stream starts to flow again. The elephant must have awakened and moved off. This was always a very tense moment for me as a child because I always imagined the elephant at any moment could move. It can move while you're going across the river and you get swept away, I believe. That is one way which you can actually die in this game. You can't cross, the water is flowing too swiftly and you would surely be swept away to your doom. You can get stuck on the other side of the river too because the elephant moves away while you're still over there. There's only one thing to do over there, and that's fill flask with water. So, it's not that difficult, but as a child it's very intimidating being timed like that. So, anyway, that's all done. Oh, pardon me. Now we have to deal with this fellow. So, what do you do when you're dealing with a ghost? Why, you have to use a book on ghost. Please be more specific. Ring bell. Ding dong, nothing happens. Ah, right, I remember. Read book. You gather the bell and candle together. Read the spell from the page in the old book. Whoosh! An icy blast of air sweeps past you as the evil spirit is banished for good. The ghost isn't actually the scariest thing in this game, as you'll soon see. Yes. Oh, what a terrible visage. Ah, we meet again, my friend. Methinks I was a little hard on you the last time we met, so I fancy the tables shall be turned this time. I know. Let us play a guessing game. But this time you will ask the questions and I will answer. If I answer correctly, you may pass. What a wonderful idea. Hee. Right, hold something in your hands without showing me, and I will have 3 guesses. Ready? Okay, here's my first guess. Isn't it an elephant? Well, this is an interesting puzzle. It's not really a puzzle because the answer's really quite obvious when it comes. So anyway, isn't it an elephant? Well, we can't be holding an elephant. We don't have one in our inventory, so... No. Again, with previous moments like this in the game, you don't press enter when it comes up, you just start typing, and it will go directly to the text prompt. This is trickier than I thought. No matter, I'll try again. Is it a jewel-encrusted egg? No, we don't have any Fabergé eggs. Aha. In that case, I fancy I have the answer. Is it a flask of magic water? Yes. Splendid! You win, my boy! Go upward on yonder rocks and you will emerge on the path to your sweetheart. Hurry now. The old man beckons you on. As you pass the old man, he whispers in your ear. Ah, I thought I'd never see my crystal ball again. I'll just take it off your hands. I really am most grateful for you, my boy. Yes, that's all the crystal ball's required for. It's not actually necessary to complete the game, but it gets some extra points, I think. Anyway, and we're back up here. Oh, that was an easy teleport. That old man just keeps popping up. Apparently he doesn't hold any grudges since Penelope belted him over the head and knocked him off his stool in the previous game. And we're over here now. Now we give water to Penelope. You administer the remedy. The rejuvenating powers of the magic water revive our sweet Penelope. You trip merrily back to the plane, fill it with gas from the spare tank, and fly off homeward into the sunset. And so we say farewell to Hugo and Penelope for the last time. Let's hope they make it home this time. Yes, that was the end. This one only took just over half an hour to finish. It really is quite a short game. Pardon me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh, nope, it's gone, for the moment anyway. Yes, this is the shortest in the series. The puzzles, I think, are certainly the hardest in it, because there's quite a few leaps of... Well, no, not leaps of logic. Not like in, say, some of the LucasArts games. It's more... Timing is an element in this one, which isn't really in any of the previous games, so the elephant part was certainly the hardest for me for me when I first played it. The part in the Witch Doctor's hut, again, isn't really difficult. The part which is probably difficult is knowing that you can look inside the aeroplane, because that uncovers like the 5 items or so which you need to finish the game. So if you don't know that you can do that, you'll be left wandering around wondering where you can find things to use. So, you know, but I think that's more things which were done because it ended up being a lot smaller than it was planned to be. Anyway, that's the end of Hugo Jungle of Doom, or Hugo's Amazon Adventure as it is known later on. I did actually find out through reading up on David Gray's website that you can still buy the trilogy from his website. I think it's about $10 US for all 3 of them. They are updated to be able to play on Windows. I am playing this in DOSBox, but this is the original versions, which I've had for years. So the later ones are updated. They actually use the mouse and they have verbs buttons which you can press, as well as hints. Oh, one thing I didn't actually show off in this one is that Jungle of Doom actually does have a hint system in the game. I don't know how relevant it is. I think it hints you into some of the more difficult puzzles. But if you do get stuck, you can get hints in this game. Anything else which I can say about it? Nope, really. That's pretty much all that I can say about the Hugo series. Thank you very much for joining me on this trip down nostalgia lane. And I will see you next time for the next game. So, thank you, Runtime Error R6001, Null Pointer Assignment, and David Gray for this series of adventure games, which many kids grew up playing. I suppose, kind of the poor man's version of Sierra, King's Quest, or whatever, but I still enjoyed it. An awful lot. So, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.